Mosquito Lake State Park. It's early April 2023 and we haven't been to Mosquito Lake State Park campground since 2018. At that time, the state park was making some new full hookup campsites and improving the existing full hookup campsites. If you've never been to Mosquito Lake State Park, I've got to tell you that there are a lot of sites within the campground, mainly just electric sites. I don't even know where the group sites are, so I can't speak on that behalf, but just electric sites. There's a lot of them that are susceptible to being wet and muddy. So if you ever decide to go there, you got to do a little bit of research to find out if you're getting a site that's dry or wet. We didn't get a whole lot of content. Well, I don't feel we got a whole lot of content, just because we didn't want to go off pavement and into the mud, especially since we got dogs and it's a little bit harder to keep dogs clean and take them back into the campers without getting the camper all full of mud and dirt. But we did go to the dog park and let the dogs run around over there. They have access to the water over there where we can let them run out into the water and get some of that mud off of them. And then once we dried them off with a towel, they were pretty clean. We didn't have to worry about them getting stuff in the camper. So while we were over in that area by the dog park, in that general vicinity is the beach, and out in the distance is the marina. We did drive through the marina. I don't think that I took any video in the marina. There was a bass fishing tournament going on at the time we were there. That was Saturday, I believe, which is, I was in a tournament with this I don't know if you would call what you call it. It's just, the guy's been doing these things for probably more than 30 years. His website is dobass.com. It went from being an electric only bass fishing tournament to an unlimited horsepower. They still do electric only. I would assume that if you've got a kayak, you could enter in any of them if you really wanted to try. Be a little bit hard on the unlimited horsepower, because they can get around and get to places where the fish are faster than you can. But check it out. It's dobass.com if you're interested in that kind of thing. I know that when I did a tournament with them, very nice guy, very nice people. I don't think anybody's cheating there, otherwise you would have heard something about it by now. While we were over in the area by the beach and the marina, we did hike a trail over there. It's called Squirrel Run Trail. Squirrel Run Trail is about, I want to say it's probably a third of a mile up to a half of a mile. And it follows through the disc golf course. So it's a shared trail. It does have some gravel on it, so it's firm. It's not muddy. It was wet. There were some puddles, but at least it wasn't muddy. We were able to get through there without being a mess. And we followed that all the way around and back through the dog park area. Things to do inside of the campground. Every state park I've been to has a playground. That was the same here. Nice playground area for the kids to go to. They have archery in the campground. There's a small boat launch where you can put your canoe or your kayak, small John boat. You know, if you got a small boat with a small motor, you can put it in at that boat launch in the campground. And there's some shore fishing over there. Some of the electric only campsites have signs at the back of them that you can't camp beyond a certain point. I have to believe that's because once you're beyond that point, you're in a shared area with the shoreline. So I assume that if you got one of those sites and somebody was back there that wanted to use the lake for fishing, then they're more than welcome to do that, because your site ends about 15-20 feet before you get to the edge of the water. And also, they also have the typical state park camp store, t-shirts, hoodies, blankets, some camping gear, ice cream. So if you're into that kind of thing, you need the camp store. It's there. While we were there, the camp store was open, but the main bathrooms, I don't understand why, but the main bathrooms, the ones with the shower houses, still were not open. And it was my understanding that state parks, all the state parks opened on April 1st, opened up their bathrooms, but that wasn't the case at Mosquito Lake State Park. Also, the marina wasn't open yet. I know way back in the day, if you went to the marina, you can rent a small fishing boat with maybe a 5-horse, 10-horsepower motor on it. You get bait over at the marina. I'm not sure because I haven't been to the marina to rent a boat in quite a few years, but I believe they rent pontoon boats and possibly small boats for pulling a water skier or tuber behind them. I'd have to look into that, be sure of that. Anyhow, the lake itself, Mosquito Lake, is known for some good walleye fishing. Mosquito Lake is one of the largest lakes. It has one of the largest surface water areas of all the lakes in the state of Ohio. There are bigger lakes, they just don't have the same amount of surface water. There are bigger lakes as far as surface water is concerned, but Mosquito Lake is one of the largest, at least the largest in northeastern Ohio. And we're not counting Lake Erie. So back to walleye fishing. Walleye fishing is a pretty popular sport on the lake. A lot of hunting area around the state park, around the whole lake. There were signs up notifying of the dates hunting is allowed and when it's not allowed. So since those were in the campground, I'm going to assume they allow hunting in some of those areas. So if you go there during hunting season, be aware. Use of the lake, I would say you take your kayak, your boat, your canoe, paddleboard. It's all usable on the lake. but keep in mind it's an unlimited horsepower lake. If you're trying to paddleboard on the lake, you know, I've been on the lake many times. I don't recall too many coves where you can get back and hide from all the wakes, but if you're out there on a paddleboard, expect that you're going to get beat up by the wake. I don't recall ever seeing a lot of water skiing or jet skis on this lake, but like I say, I haven't been out on a lake in years, so those are a few things you could do within Mosquito Lake State Park. Now, if you're into shooting sports, east of Mosquito Lake State Park is the Grand River Wildlife Area. The ODNR operates a supervised gun range. It's a pistol rifle shotgun range. It has 20, 50, and 100 yard ranges, but a permit is required to use the range. I don't know if you can buy a permit on site or if you only can get it online. You'd have to do that research yourself. I didn't do that. I do know that the permits are $5 a day, or if you plan on going there multiple times, it's $24 for an annual permit. And if you had $5 to that, you could make it a combo permit with a hunting license. So if you're going to go to that area and you're going to use the range multiple times and you're going to go hunting, it's worth paying $29. Even if you're only going to use the range one time, for the extra $5, because I think it's $24 for a hunting license. So $29 for a combo to get the permit. If you use the range one time, you didn't lose any money. A little farther east of the gun range is a hand trap range. And at a hand trap range, you want to take your shotgun and you want to use shot shells. I'm sure you're not permitted to use slugs in your shotgun. So what you're going to do is you're going to need to get your own clay targets. You can pick those up at Walmart, sporting goods store like Dick's, or an outdoor store like Cabela's, and a hand clay tosser. If you don't know what a hand clay tosser is, if you have pets, or even if you don't have pets, you've probably seen they have a little arm that you put a tennis ball in and you whip it and it throws a tennis ball out there and the dog goes and chases it. Anyhow, a hand clay tosser is pretty much the same thing. Your clays are going to be about 3 inches in diameter, and they're going to look like a little tiny frisbee. You stick it inside of the arm. Somebody whips the clay out, flies out. They go pretty far pretty fast. Somebody whips the clay out and then you shoot the clay out of the sky. Never done it. I purposely purchased the shotgun and a box of clay targets and a hand clay tosser specifically to go to this hand trap range. I've had it since probably before 2018. That was the last time I was out that way. and I still haven't even shot the shotgun. So anyhow, if this is something that interests you, it's probably 10 to 15 minutes east. I don't know what road it is, 528 or 88. I don't remember what it is out that way. It'll show up on Google Maps. Do a search for Grand River Wildlife Area. Then the other thing, if you want to leave, if there's nothing to do at Mosquito Lake that you want to do, you can travel further east. Actually, I think I said the Grand River Wildlife Area was east. It's not, it's west. But if you travel east of the Mosquito State Park, you will come to, you gotta go northeast and you'll come to Pymatuning State Park, which there's quite a bit of stuff to do at Pymatuning State Park. That's about a 30-minute drive. If you head west about 30 minutes, you'll run into Punderson State Park. And if you go north about 40 minutes, you'll run into Geneva State Park. So there's quite a few areas to go out that way that there's other things to do within an hour drive. Also, if you have a 4x4 and you want to go play around with your 4x4, I'm not sure if it's still open. It was open for a very long time. I was there probably around 2018. The name of the place is Yankee Lake. Yankee Lake is just what it says it is. It's Yankee Lake. But Yankee Lake Dam was damaged or washed out at one point in time. So the lake is no longer there. And the people that own the property wanted to make it into something that can be used. So they turned it into Yankee Lake. And you can ride around in your 4x4s. They do have some mud pits, so if you really want to get down and try and bog through the mud bogs and play in the water, that's available to you. You can drive up and down through the hills and into the woods. There's dirt ramps that you could jump your 4x4s over, or your ATVs, your off-road vehicles, whatever you have that you want to go play around with, they pretty much allow it. And when we were there, I'm not an off-roader, we just went there to observe. They did have an area with a couple food trucks, and they sold alcohol. So if you wanted to grab a beer and walk around and observe without actually participating, that's something you can do. Look them up online. It's called Yankee Lake. I don't know if their website's yankeelake.com or not, but give it a shot. I'm sure you'll find it. So anyhow, since I didn't have a lot of content, I talked a lot. I'm not much of a talker. I don't like to review campgrounds. You know, everybody's got their own thing. I liked going to Mosquito Lake State Park. We used it as a de-winterizing site, so we did go there. We sat around our campsite. We ate. We had some beers, drinks, good food, and there was a lot of nice people. And if you're sitting there, you'll hear some weird noises. They got some owls out there. They get pretty noisy. And you walk out and look around, you'll find them in the trees. That's pretty cool. So wherever you go, whether it's Mosquito Lake State Park or not, go out, go camping, have a good time.